Welcome back for the Mobile Gaming Fanatics. It's MyTyme here. Apologies today, but in this episode of MyNBA2k17 I'm going to be off of the camera because I haven't been very well and I look a complete mess, but I wanted to bring you guys something, so here I am. I'm going to go over a couple of things today. First of all, we'll actually have a quick look at the event which is up and running, although many of you are probably already playing it and it does look like the Lakers are going to beat the Clippers. In terms of rewards, we will have a D'Angelo Russell versus a Blake Griffin card. Now, as we scroll down, you can see the undercards for the stars. You've got over here, you've got Elgin Baylor and Danny Manning, and we come down, and it is Chris Paul and James Worthy. Am I saying Wesley? James Worthy. So they're the kind of cards which I'm going to guess the majority of people will be aiming for. And obviously, if you want to go further down here, you've got Pau Gasol and JJ Redick. Now, I don't think anyone's going to particularly be aiming for the ultra rare cards. Possibly if you're new to the game, epics might still help you, but I still guess most people will be looking to finish in the top 20,000 to at least get a legendary card. So, for myself, I can't play this enough to get these cards. I probably can't even play it enough to get the star card or a single star card. So what I've decided is I might just flitter in and out of the event and try and get myself a single legendary card, and I'll explain why I'm going to try and collect single legendary cards and possibly even an epic card. If at the worst I get an epic card, then that's not the end of the world, in just a moment. But that's what everyone's going for. I've got 267 points at the moment. I'm kind of playing +1s, a few +3s, because I've got a bonus, team bonus running, so you get an extra pick from every draft board. So I'm trying to win games as opposed to get points at the moment. But you can see here, already 7,911. I can probably keep myself in that top 20,000 without too much trouble. Just going to have to play a few games here and there. So why would I want to get those cards? Well, I was umming and ahhing as I show you my season progress, which I believe is against all bots. And the way that I will win matches is basically by being energized every game. If I'm not energized, I'm going to struggle. But from a raw perspective, you will get a star card if you get to the finals. I mean, at the moment, I kind of either want to go out in the semis or win. I don't really want to finish second. Second is probably the worst place that I can finish at the moment, and we'll come back to why again in a moment. So, why don't I want to finish second there? Why am I quite happy just to get a single legendary card? Because I was umming and ahhing about telling you guys this, to be honest with you, because it's kind of, I show you my RP now, 196, building my way back up. It's kind of one of those things. If I kind of start telling people this, if they hadn't been thinking along this line, then I am going to be encouraging other people to do it, and then it's going to obviously reduce the effectiveness of me doing it, etc. But for anyone who actually subscribes and watches my videos, I kind of want to help you lot. So yeah, I don't mind showing you. Now, we've starters only just released, but I'm already planning for playoff tier. Okay. Now, this will probably only be kind of relevant for those of you who are in star tier or at least very close to it. But as you can see, I've pro'd my Dwight Howard and my Chris Paul using star cards. Now, I have my Andrew Wiggins here. I've also gone out and bought another Andrew Wiggins, and I bought another Michael Finley. So I've got the option here to pro all these guys up. I'm not going to do that at this moment in time, okay? I will train them up probably still, as you can see as I'm doing, and I will put them into my seasons as singles for now. So until I pro them up, they'll go in and replace one of the epic pros in the season, and I'll put in the star single. And I did get a star Paul. I got Gordon Hayward. So here's the plan. The plan is I sell Gordon Hayward. With the money that I sell Gordon Hayward for, I purchase another Andrew Wiggins or a Michael Finley. I then pro them using a veteran contract as opposed to a star contract, and hold on to more of my star contracts when playoff tier comes. Then when playoff tier comes, I'll be able to make as many pros as I can as quickly as possible. Now, yes, as long as I probably take over 2 or 3 star contracts into playoff tier, you've got to get the cards first to pro them. But that's kind of the theory at the moment. I don't want to use all my star contracts on all my star cards. So we'll do that. We'll go and sell Gordon Hayward probably in a moment, try and sell him in the auction house, and try and get the money to buy one of these cards on the cheap. Then, oops, I didn't mean to come out. What else I'm going to do is stop selling all of my epics and all my legendary cards and try and get duplicates. So as you can see here, I have one Blake Griffin and a second Blake Griffin. Now if I were to pull a Blake Griffin off the board, then I would pro him and sell him. If I don't, I might try and get a cheap Blake Griffin and just pro him and keep him, because he is still a reasonably decent card in the legendary tier. But as we keep going through, I've got Steph Curry here. All these cards, I won't pro any of the foil versions of them. I will be pro him, and we'll come down and I'll show you here. For example, if I get Klay Thompson's, I'll be proing one of the cards that I can auction. I just pulled a Marc Gasol off the board as well, along with support, and the idea will be to try and get duplicates from King of the Rings, Seasons, any of the future events, etc. Then I'll go and buy a single and then sell the legendary pro. So let's just say for example we use Marc Gasol. If I'm lucky enough to get another one, either from a board pool, board reset, or from a future event, like this time we've got Chris Paul for example, and James Worthy. If that was say Marc Gasol as an event in a week's time, 2 weeks time, great. I will then go buy the single and then sell the legendary pro. I do exactly the same with the epic cards. So this is what I've done. I actually went out and bought myself Gary Payton for 10,000 because I got this one here, which I actually pulled off the board so I could do a pro, and I also pulled a second Gary Payton. There's this off the board. So what I'll do is come into auction house. I'm going to collect this one just for the sake of it. If obviously I had known I was going to pull another one on the board, I wouldn't have gone and purchased this one. But the idea is I've gone and signed myself a Gary Payton. I go into my cards, I pro him up, and I throw him out. So let's just finish signing him up, training him up here. Okay. Now, obviously, I've gone and now spent 10,000 on the card, which is, I didn't need to. If I had known that I was going to pull another one really quickly, like here, then I wouldn't have trained this card up. I'd have just, I swear I wouldn't have gone and bought this card in the auction house, but unfortunately didn't know that was going to happen. So what I'm going to do now is go sign a pro. And I use my veteran contract here, and I decide to make sure that I don't have in, I need to double check this actually. I need to make sure that I don't put in this one. So we're going to improve him fractionally, just so I don't accidentally put him in. So if I say rebound as a specialization and 275, okay, so we come back, we go to that other Gary Payton, which is up here, and the idea is, oops, too far. And the idea is we're going to pro him up. Got plenty of veteran contracts. I'm going to make sure that this card isn't being used. Oh, I can use that card. Hold up. What card can't I use? Yeah, put that one in. That's it. Okay, so that's good. Sign a contract. Boom. Now in this example, okay, I've gone and bought him for 10,000 RP, but I would now hope to sell him for 17 or 18,000. So if I come to my auctions, yes, he's not leveled up. Yes, I can throw some cards in to level him up if I'm struggling to sell him, but it is now an epic pro. So I go here, I will say buy it now. Just to start off, we'll go 17,000. Okay, he's not a great card, he's not a popular card, so I don't think he's going to go to much. And we're going to say a minimum auction at the end of 12,500. okay, so worst case scenario here is I have bought him for 10,000, I'll sell him for 12,500, and I'll lose 125,000 off of that because of the 10% final taken. So I'm still going to make RP out of this card, worst case scenario. Obviously I could now increase the minimum buy to say 14,000 for example, and then whatever happens, if I sell the card, I'm up 2,600. If I get the buy it now cost for it, I'm up 5,000 something RP. So this is kind of what I'm going to start doing now. Obviously you're going to get a far bigger markup with the legendary cards, so that's why in a star season I'm more than happy to finish in the semi-finals if I do. Even if I go out in the first round and I can get 2 epic cards in for here, as you can see, any of these kind of cards. I've got one Andrew Wiggins, and I think I got a foil one of him. Yep, here we go, just a regular one actually. So another example, I will go Andrew Wiggins, a card I want a pro. So I come to the auction house, I go and search, I go and find out how much a single Andrew Wiggins is kind of going for, and that's going to be about, here we go, so I can buy him now for 11,000. I can try and purchase him in a bit for 7.7, a bit less, 10.65, okay, 10.3. So I'm saying fair enough, a single Andrew Wiggins I can probably pick up for around 10,000, maybe less if I try and snipe in a card here and purchase him on the cheap. But let's just say hypothetically I went and bought him for 10,000, okay. Here's a pro version of him going for 25,000 max leveled. Let's go to here. Are there any other pros of him? No. Okay, but you saw one pro there going for 25,000. Now, let's change that and let's go for any cards as epic pros. 25,000. We don't know. Buy it now. 35,000, 30,000 for Gallinari, 30,000. Okay, bit less here. Brendan Haywood's, but you get the kind of gist, guys. I should be able to get between 20 and 30,000 for the Epic Pro. So to go and purchase him on the cheap. So in fact, you know what? I'm even going to do it. I'm just going to go and do it now for the sake of it. Purchase him on the cheap for, let's just say 9,900, so just going to say 10,000. The idea is to train him, pro him, sell him. Okay, make that extra between, it depends what price you're selling for, but you know, maybe 10,000 RP, something like that, somewhere around there. Boom. So this is what we do. Obviously, it'd be a lot better to do it with legendary cards because you're going to get a bigger markup. Legendary pros will still be going for a reasonable price. So what I would have to do here, if this was the case, is I'd be like, you're going to be fodder. I come and I look at which of these two are better. So, okay, doesn't matter actually because I have to use him. It's good. He's got a good specialization. So I go fine, improve, blah blah blah. Get him all signed up and out he goes. So I will be working on that, okay, just so I don't forget. I'm going to train a little bit into him so I remember which one that it is that I'm actually going to train up, otherwise I'll forget. Start training up one of the ones I'm going to feed, and there you go. So yes, it's not a foil version. Very hard to get foil versions in Epic and stuff. You need to get your board pool with the foil. Obviously any rewards you're getting from events and stuff, from packs you open, you can't sell in the auction house. So we will come train up this Andrew Wiggins anyway, feed him into it, try and sell him on the auction house, try and make that 10,000 extra RP. And if I can keep doing this for the next 2 to 3 months before playoff tier comes out, you're obviously going to increase your overall RP. Now, just to give you an idea, if we come back into auctions, and so I'm no longer going to be throwing away those legendary cards just yet anyway, any legendary card that is a pro are still going for reasonable RP. Okay, oops, I messed up, sorry. Is a pro, there we go. So here you go. Ish Thomas up here, 125k, 90k for Hassan Whiteside. I mean, you know, 90k. If you scroll through 85, these are buy it now prices. Okay, so they won't all necessarily go for the top buy it now price, but even as a starting bid, you get an idea of what you can kind of put it out for. So even if I wasn't going to go for this, I could still try and undercut a load of these people, and I could start selling legendary pros for 75,000 buy it now, 80,000 buy it now, starting bid at 60,000 and stuff, you know, undercutting a load of these pros so that people that are actually looking to get legendary cards to get themselves into legendary tier, into star tier, will come and buy my cards. So as you get an idea here, some bids here from the 50,000, you know, if you put it buy it now 75,000, you're probably going to sell your card in the first attempt. But if I'm say putting out a card 75, 80,000 and I'm coming in and buying the single of it for 35, 40,000, you're going to get a big markup there, a big RP markup for nothing. All it's costing you is your few credits which you have to put on the game. So that's the bad side. Okay, it is going to cost you physical money, it is going to cost you credits, in the auction house to put that card up for grabs. But it's a miles better ratio compared to transferring 100 credits for 1000 RP in the shop. So that is the tip, guys. I suggest if you're not in star tier, then you keep progressing towards star tier, keeping your good cards. If you are, the kind of cards you're not going to need in future, from that, like moving forward, sell those epic pros that you can. Try and keep dupes. If you've got a one which you've pulled from the board and you can then sell, go into the auction house, get it, use that veteran contract or that rookie contract, obviously, if you wanted to work it that way. If you've got a load of similar board pools, like I could have done with that Gordon Hayward, for example, I could have used a rookie contract instead. That Gary Payton. I'm going to see if I can potentially pull another one off the board, or he becomes a reward in the next couple of weeks, or I just find a cheap one of him in the auction house and I can buy him for 3, 4, 5,000 because there's been no bids on him. I'll try and then get that pro him and sell him off. So hope you've enjoyed it, guys. Let me know how you're going to do in this event. Apologies again if I sound a bit bad. My kind of throat and my nose, everything is a bit out of sync, but that is what I'm going to be doing. And I also recommend you guys, if you play the game semi-frequently, to do exactly the same, because it's going to be your best chance of building that RP and getting it ready for when playoff tier comes out. And also potentially you can use it now. For example, I said if I do sell that Gordon Hayward card, I don't know why I keep clicking on auction. I will use that money at this moment in time, because the tier is still new, to go out and buy a duplicate of one of them 2 cards, and I will pro them using my veteran contract to save myself a star contract. Obviously, I'm trying to get more and more star pools just to make that possible. So thank you for watching, guys. I've been MyTyme. Good luck with the event. Let me know what you're going for. If you've enjoyed the video, please put a like. I am possibly if I have a good weekend, going to do another pack opening as requested next week, and then that'll probably be the end of my pack opening for a while, because packs, best time to get them beginning of tiers, because the rewards you get going to be the most useful. So if you're going to pull star cards, you want to be pulling them now, so you can use them throughout the whole tier, rather than, for example, pulling them 7 days before playoff tier is released, and then they're going to no longer be as good and as valuable as they were. So peace out, people. Good luck with the event, and I'll see you all once this season finishes, and probably at the end of the event to show you what I actually got for my rewards. Good luck, guys.